Let's go back a little bit and let's talk about one of the chapters in the book, Barton. You talk about having to go into surgery to repair or to change out a pump that changes out your spinal fluid or something like that?
Well, no.
Or injects medicine into your spine?
Well, yeah, it injects a medicine that reduces the spasticity of my body.
Reduces the spasticity, the muscle spasms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that painful, by the way, when we're watching you do the kind of spasms? Is that painful to you?
No, not really. I know.
Okay.
I know for many people it can be. I'm fortunate in that.
Okay. All right, sorry, that was just a side note. But so you're fortunate that it doesn't, but for many people it can be. So when that surgery happened, you found out something really interesting, that this medicine that was supposed to be reducing your spasticity. Go ahead. You laugh about it now. Was it funny at the time?
Well, it was surprising.
Surprising.
The pump was not connected properly, so I hadn't been receiving the medicine as I was supposed to.
So you thought you were getting the medicine.
Yes.
The pump wasn't working.
Yes.
So what was that? You talk about how this almost as a spiritual experience in the book. Is that a fair thing to say? Can you talk about how that was? Go ahead.
Well, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
I had always been told from the time that's the one that I would never be able to stand independently, never mind take steps.
They told that you were told that from a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I said, my philosophy is considered to be more severe than healing. So standing, walking was never even imaginable. However, when I went to college, I began studying martial arts, which had a very spiritual side to it, in addition to the physical.
So you enjoyed the spiritual side of the martial arts as well as the physical side of it.
Yeah. And after a bunch of years of
Do we have some water? Sorry, Karen, I meant to bring water, I forgot.
My allergies.
Oh, allergies.
Yeah, they come up at the weird time.
Oh, amen. Amen, I know that.
So we bought the
Lord, I don't know.
So go ahead. Go ahead. So the martial arts.
So So what I found was one of the side effects of this spiritual practice was that I gained more physical control.
You gained more physical
Control.
more physical control. One of the side effects of the martial arts practice. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind that I'm kind of translating? Does that get annoying? Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
And so long story short, I gained enough control to stand and even walk a few steps on my own. And I actually walked Megan down the aisle after our ceremony.
Oh, you walked Megan down there.
Yeah.
So you actually got enough control, and you attribute this to the martial arts practice.
So, at the time, I thought it was a combination of the martial arts and the medicine. And so, I always assumed that the medicine was a major component.
You assumed the medicine was a major component. The medicine that the broken pump, the disconnected pump, was not delivering to you. I love this story.
And so when
It was all you. It was all you.
and so when we found out that it wasn't connected, I really had a difficult time accepting that all that was me and the practice and whatever else you want to say was in it.
You had to. Why was it difficult to accept that it was all you?
When you always
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Oh, you've got something there for your. Okay. And again, that's not painful for you.
No.
The spasticity there. No. Okay, because I imagine it can be disconcerting for people who don't see people with cerebral palsy very often. Do you notice that people get really nervous when that starts to happen, or they get antsy? You notice it? Yeah. She probably noticed it in me. We could probably, if we could see it in your livers, some of you would probably be like that too. But it's not painful. It's just that broken phone line between the brain and the muscles there. Yeah. Okay. So why was it difficult to accept that was all you? You had an image of yourself that you couldn't do it, or something, or without. Interesting.
It had been so great, and our Western minds are so programmed to by that medicine and Western science is right 100%.
And that's not always true. Not in this case, it was broken. So our Western minds are programmed to think that Western science is always right 100% of the time, and that's where all the good things come from. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, every time I feel like I'm being a time home.
That again, Barton, I know that you and Megan got a lot more to say, but I'm learning more and more about you and Megan, and I like it because, you know, you and I work together, but we don't really show a lot, and we want to get to know you more in that way, in socializing.
That's great. Let me go ahead and introduce you again. That's Karen Stallings. She's a local disability rights activist and does a show on Raleigh Television Network. Has run for city council a couple of times. She's just a fabulous example for everybody in the community, and I love her. Barton and Megan, I met them through Karen's show, and they have written a book about their interability marriage called Ink in the Wheels, and Stories to Make Love Roll. It's self-published. And it's available on Amazon, and it's really good. It's funny, and you just jump right in. And one of the things that you jump right into is the question of intimacy in your marriage. I was reading the first chapter. I think it's going to take a while to get going. It's and then all of a sudden we're like, wow, we're already in bed together. So it was really. It's an honest, funny, warm-hearted book, and I really recommend it. Their website is inkinthewheels.com. Can we talk? You have a whole chapter called Wheelchairs Are Not Made for Sex. Is that right?
Yes.
Wheelchairs, chapter 10, Wheelchairs Are Not Made for Sex. Can we, because I know you get this question a lot from friends and family, probably total strangers in restaurants, but how does that work out? How did you come to be intimate with one another, and how does it... You said it was okay to ask. I'm not being rude, right? It's a fascinating.
She hopped on.
She what?
I hopped on.
She hopped on. Oh, that's good. It was that easy, right? How else would you do it, right?
I think at one point I said, okay, Barton, you're going to have to help me out and figure this out. And he says, great, you're going to have to help me figure it out too. And so that's the place that we came from, was just that very playful, love and intimacy that happens between two people. So. Wheelchairs are not, I don't advocate trying it in a wheelchair. We've broken a wheelchair.
We have notes for wheelchair manufacturers.
What was that?
We have notes for wheelchair manufacturers.
Oh, notes from wheelchair manufacturers. How did this happen? Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
I think, and I was the one, I wrote the chapter. Barton kept saying, you need to write more, because people ask it's the first question I got for a very long time.
Once folks found out you're married.
And people were embarrassed to ask, and at first I was embarrassed to tell, and then finally I just got over that. And with the book we decided just to be really honest, obviously have a lot of fun with it. We have a lot of mishaps. When I first met Barton, as I said, we were in 2 different states, so we were on the phone quite a lot. And like any couple who talks lovey-dovey on the phone, Barton has a speakerphone that would pick up by voice command. It would pick up by your voice. And so we had a couple of mishaps of either the phone being picked up by the voice or somebody walking in and being able to hear a conversation. So we've had, many mishaps along the way that are in the book. Yes.
It's a really funny chapter, and it's just a really, the book itself is just really honest. You're very honest about your reactions, the reactions from your family members, and it's amazing that most of them allowed you to put their stories in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. The next question that probably comes up a lot is you talk about children and the possibility of having children. How has that worked out, Barton?
We both really want to be parents one day. For reasons unrelated to cerebral palsy, I will not be able to. The natural thing has not worked for us. When we found that out, like many couples, we had lots of distractions, issues, to decisions to make which situation we wanted to go in. We were, for a long time, we weren't on the same page.
Like many couples.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a negotiation. And it seems to me, as I'm listening to you, I don't mean to interrupt for too long, but as I'm listening to you, that many of the issues that you're talking about are issues that the way you describe sex. It seems to me that that's a really great way for non-interability married couples to talk about sex too. Hey, help me with this and help me with this, and honesty, hey, intimacy, it's wonderful. But so like a lot of couples, the people aren't always on the same page about children or not. So you found out you couldn't have children. So where are you now? And you said this. Where are you now in this decision-making process you're talking about?
We're finally on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
It took about 3 years, but we're finally there. And we've decided that adoption is the way we want to go. We don't know when or how that will happen, but we know it will at some point.
You're talking adoption?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Okay.
do want
You want to adopt? Okay, you said that. Sorry,
And
I wasn't listening with my heart.
there's this whole process that goes along with adoption of having a home study done and lots of concerns on the birth mother's part and lots of concerns on the adoptive parent's part. And at first, many of my friends weren't supportive of us adopting children because, again, they asked the questions of how we manage and Barton's disability. But over the last 6 months or so, I've really connected with a lot of local groups that are very supportive of adoption and interability families. And it's just, so I feel at a very different place than I did, before as we were having some of those discussions. And
More
so,
supported by the organizations that are out there.
Community in general. Because we will need to ask for help in different respects. So we've kind of come along on that journey, but like many parents, who want, or families that want to adopt, we go through the discussions of, is now the right time with finances, is now the right time to move forward, and so we're definitely on the same page, but it's just that timing of everything.
Yeah. That makes sense. Great. We're talking with Megan and Barton Cutter of Cutter's Edge Consulting.com. That's their website. And they've got a book out, Ink in the Wheels, Stories to Make Love Roll. We've only got a couple of, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes left. And I definitely wanted to talk about maybe some of the darker parts of the book. It's not all fun and light. And Karen, we were talking about this as well. Those moments when living with a disability like cerebral palsy, when things get really bleak. And Barton, there's a gripping scene in here, and your honesty is just so amazing, both of you, in this book, where you talk about having a knife to your throat. And can you talk about what got you through those dark moments? And you know, I don't know how else to ask the question. That's the question. How are you still here?
I don't want to tell you, but
You don't want to sound what?
he said,
I still don't get that. I'm sorry.
Cliche.
Oh,
Yeah.
cliche. Oh, okay. Okay.
but it wasn't until I hit rock bottom that I found something like surviving from whatever you want to call that, a high power or just or just faith in humanity.
Boy, if I relied on that, faith in humanity. No, my hat's off to you. But no, I don't mean to joke. I mean, I did joke, but I understand what you're saying.
Oh. When I was at that point of having the night that was so, I personally couldn't bear to put myself through that pain, even though it would have been brief. And that understanding of not being able to do it to myself it's been to
The rest of the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I was left with the question, okay, well, if I can't do that, then what if I care for? There has to be some reason that I'm here, and for me, that reason is serving other people in whatever form that may be for them.
That's a good reason. Serving other people in whatever form. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good reason.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Barton. That's real. I mean, thank you for that honesty and just, you know, being willing to revisit that stuff on live TV. I appreciate that. It takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of guts. How much time do we have, Carol? 7 minutes? Okay. You see how informal we are. I could just yell back out to her. Karen, you've had those dark moments too. When is it the frustration of life with cerebral palsy, or just other stuff as well? The combination, what? And what got you through?
It both, because I know that I was born with cerebral palsy, and I know that I was born for a reason, and if, you know, but a lot of times as I got older, I wonder why I was with cerebral palsy, and my mom said that I was born to her and my dad because it was just that way. And my dark moment came when I got really frustrated when people didn't really understand me. But then I have a great family and a loving husband who accept me for who I am. And being born with cerebral palsy can be a gift or can be a mistake, and I am no mistake. I may be, you know, I may get frustrated and I may have my moment, but then I look at my life and where I am today, and I have come a long way, and that is due to friends, family, and my husband, because they don't see me as having cerebral palsy. They just see me for me, and the frustration when I think about that, the frustrations are just there, but they go away eventually.
What are some of the, oh, go ahead, Barton.
If I may add one, for me, it was never about the disability.
It was not about the disability.
Not at all. It was about losing purpose.
Losing purpose.
Losing purpose, yeah. And it came at a dark time in your life when you didn't know what was going on and what you, yeah, I can understand that. Karen, you've got a lot of purpose. I know that. You're a great activist and have been for a long time in the community, setting an example for people.
Thank you. Well, my husband Kelly is a great advocate. That how we met through a convention because we believe in the same thing, and whenever we have disability issues that came up through my other job, we were like right there at the legislature, you know, fighting and voicing our opinion about what needs to be done or what didn't need to be done.
I could just see you in a legislator's office right now, couldn't you? I can imagine. I have no trouble imagining Karen saying, "This is what needs to be done. This is what's not being done." Talk about purpose. Your husband Kenny's behind. Her husband Kenny's behind the camera. And he's like, "Yep."
Well, to let you know that we're quitting our contract from my other job was cut, and Kelly and I literally went down to the representative office and talked with him face to face, and I was almost in tears because if they cut my job, I wouldn't have a job. And he passed away now, but he told me, he went, "Quit you crying, don't worry about it." So the next day, he went back and announced that we had our contract.
Because you got off your butt, went down there. And said, all right, we've only got 2 minutes left. Let me just briefly again say, that's Karen Stallings, a self-advocate and disability rights activist here in Raleigh. Barton and Megan Cutter, You've been in Raleigh for how long now?
For about 8 years.
8 years now. Authors of the book Ink in the Wheels, Stories to Make Love Roll, about their interability marriage. It's a great read. It's a beautifully written book. It really is. And it's filled with all kinds of interesting information about interability relationships and how to make them work and how to get over them, or how to get over the bad parts when they don't work, when they're not working. Is there anything else? We only have like a minute left. Is there anything else, Megan? And inkinthewheels.com. We want to mention that. And CuttersEdgeConsulting.com.
Cutters Edge Consulting is our business. Barton is a life and leadership coach, and I am a writer and coach for writers.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us and coming on. I really appreciate it. And Barton, thank you. Appreciate it. Karen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to you for watching. I really am. The more I meet you and get to know you, the more amazed I am at all of you.
Thank you.
We're here live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. The show reruns. How much time, Karen? Or Carol? 30 seconds. The show reruns Thursday at midnight and then Friday at 11. And then we'll be back next week with footage from the Moral Monday protests, because those have been more and more fun. They're getting bigger and bigger, and I see people I haven't seen every time I go. I see people I haven't seen in 10 years. It's really great. Anyway, so come on out to Moral Monday and take care of each other, and we'll see you next week.